Hello there, everybody, and welcome to a surprise drop game thing. This is going to be yet another iteration of the Beating the Self series. If you're not familiar with that, that's basically a series in which I play fighting games that I really like a lot, and I play them on hard, and I play them in a mirror match form, even if it's a tag game. And it doesn't have to be completed, I don't have to do everybody, it's just one of those things that's like, let's just have fun. Now, this one will be called something different, and I haven't exactly figured out the perfect name for it just yet. I have two in mind, so as cringeworthy as it might sound, I do have a couple in mind. The first one up is going to be Beating the Illusion, because I did Melty Blood and that's Beating the Night, and this one makes a lot more sense in that regard. And the second one will just be Fight On. So if you guys get that reference, then you know what you're in for. And I'm going to be playing Battler first, because, come on, he's the main character, right? So, why not? And then, of course, I have to obviously play Lady Byrne herself, because having to play her in, the fourth slot or whatever of this series just seems kind of mean, I guess. Actually, it might be a little later before I get to play her, but, I love Lady Byrne, so yeah, it works out. And again, real quick, these videos are going to be titled by the first player character, so this will obviously be Battler's video. And then whenever we get around to, each individual character later, they'll be their own. And then tag system-wise, it doesn't matter who my secondary partner is. I could have done a thing where it's like, oh, what if I do Battler and Rosa together because of that one time? And it's like, yeah, that can make sense, but for the sake of this, it's fine. However, I do have a very specific pattern that should happen if I get it correct. So for those that have keen eyes, you'll be able to point out that specific pattern pretty well. And in terms of stage, I'm just gonna say it doesn't really matter. I'll try to pick a stage that does kind of slightly reference each character in a very specific way. And there's a lot of Battler stages that work really well for him, especially the Witch's Smoking Room, considering the fact that I have literally Byrne with me right now. So I think it works fine. Song-wise, Song-wise, I think I'll just pick pretty much just anything that I feel like I just want to hear, or that sounds like it would make sense to have it to be there. This one's a tough one. I'm going to leave my favorite song specifically for Byrne, because it makes sense, because, well, my favorite song is Mirage Coordinator. World End Dominator is going to be saved for Rosa. I might not do everybody to have, a certain one or not, but at the same time, I have a few characters that I feel like would make more sense if they had that specific song, so it really depends. I could do Dread. This is a tough one. You know what? We'll just go with default BGM for now, and we'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. Whatever they pick, they pick. I turned off the fan drawings. I should have turned them back on. I was testing something one day. I was like, I wonder what the non-fan drawings look like. Also, you will be hearing a lot of clicking and clacking, so get ready for that. And I should make this fair warned that I'm not the best player. I'm not pro or anything. I don't subscribe to the idea that I would be a pro. By the way, usually when you're fighting CPU Battler, he will always typically go for... He'll always go for the owl into the pinch. So... Oh, that reminds me, before I get too far ahead of myself, I'm going to show off each character's sort of thing that they can do. So, when you're in meta, you do actually get a ability for, each person on the screen. Of course, Battler's ability being he can recover HP over time. You've got your typical, you got your blues, and then, of course, you got your super, and everything on the blue, in the normal, things can be SP, which is really nice. He's basically a Ryu, so you can do your down forward, Z motions, down back, that kind of thing, and you can EX it. And then I'll try to show off the super, and I'll try to show off the meta as much as I can. Considering the fact that this is Battler we're talking about, I think showing off his meta would make more sense. I think that would actually be perfect to have. So, because of just how damn good his meta is. But yeah, see that even though Byrne used her meta on screen currently, I do actually have access to my ability to slowly regain HP, at least I should. If I'm not mistaken on how that technically works. Now, the thing is I've noticed, like, when I fought these characters on hard before, back in the day, they would kick my ass. And now, it's weird. It feels different, like, oh, fuck me, of course. Well, it's my turn then. Never mind, he lands another one. Okay, great, and I think I just got guard broke. You son of a bitch, I knew you would do that. Yeah, try it again, asshole. That's what you get. Now, if I was playing Shannon, this would be a lot easier to pull off. Shannon's is incredibly ridiculous. I'll explain burn stuff when I get to burn. I'm going to leave her for that. And by the way, for those that are wondering, like, why am I playing with full red bar of health and not just going with 2? Because typically, if you're going to play this game, most likely you want to play with at least 2 bars of health, because that's just kind of like a decent middle ground for health system. Because, you know, a game like Cross Tag has just basically no health in that game whatsoever. That I can't be this bad, right? But yeah, a game like, you know, Blaze Blue Cross Tag, its health system was just atrocious. And Grand Blue, when it first... Fuck. I'm going to get zoned out if I'm not careful. With a game like Grand Blue, it still pisses me off that they can do that even on ground. Whatever. Don't matter. Because, like, I was always under the impression that I could just easily just go into meta when they're... I need to do something smart here. Okay, yeah, I was going to say, I need to do something smart because I'm about to lose. Yeah, with a game like Grand Blue and that, the health systems were just really, really low. And then even, like, to an extent, I would even argue something like... Son of a bitch. If anybody's going to get meta, it's going to be Burn, of course. No surprise on that one. I'm so glad you can block an air, because, to be fair, this game, even though it's an anime fighter, it still kind of has, like, a hint of Street Fighter feel, I guess, quote-unquote. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm not saying, like, you know, oh, it's so totally not anime fight. I should have done... He had 2. I shouldn't have done that. Like, I'm not trying to say, like, it's strictly just, like, very anime. I mean, Street Fighter-esque. And that Street Fighter's not bad, by the way. I'm just saying, like, it's still a very complex game, but yet it's like Street Fighter in the regard that it kind of naturally is something I feel like you can easily pick up and play. I'm getting hit by things that I shouldn't be getting hit by. That's how you can tell, like, I am just actively doing terrible here. I also hate whenever meta breaks. Whenever they break out of meta, because I can't hit them. I'm so slow. To be fair, I'm a bit rusty. I haven't played this in a while. I tried playing this recently with my brother. I brought my computer over to basically his house because I have this, you know, obviously on PC. Because that's all you can really get it on, as far as I'm aware. By the way, this is Battler's basically his best move. No surprise. To be fair, everybody's meta is essentially their best move. That should just kind of go without saying. I shouldn't have done that because now I wasted... Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, we're about to get hit a lot. God damn it. Now, for those that are wondering, is it worth doing, like, a block burst? Yeah, I have that bad habit of just never doing it. So that's kind of just my fault. You know what? I'm surprised she didn't. If I have to win by meta, then so be it. Now, usually for videos like this, I typically prefer to do it with a 2-match style. As in, I just won only 1 match. Now, because of how long this game is, I can always theoretically do it in a way where it's like, we do 2 rounds with 3 health. That way it makes up for that second slot. And I could make this a sort of different series or something, or just make it a little bit different than the other rules. Because, I mean, every game has its differences. God damn, Beatrice, I gotta get off her. I could do that, But this is me we're talking about. And I don't like to do things that I feel like, you know... It kind of sucks that I can't just random a map and then pick a song. That bothers me. You can also play the songs in here if you wanted to. You know what? Yeah. We'll go Rose Garden with Golden Slaughterer. That's perfectly fitting. I mean, again, like, I'll probably save Golden Slaughterer, probably most likely for Beatrice. Considering the fact that it basically is just her song. Yeah, if you want to play like that, big guy, we can play like that. That was a nice cross-up, but then I dropped it. Okay, so the problem that I'm having was I was trying to throw out my fragments, but I couldn't because I kept getting hit. I guess I can explain it now, but I'll explain it again with Burn later, is that Burn builds up fragments around her as she just kind of just plays and stands still. That's something that the game doesn't really technically tell you. It's essentially something you kind of have to just sort of figure out on your own. Now, also, for those that are not familiar with the game, which I can understand why, it's a pretty, not obtuse game, but definitely one of those, like, maybe a little hidden under, you know, type thing. How the EX system works, how you build meter, is you pretty much fight as one character, and then you build that meter with your other character in the background. So, like, the bar at the top with the 3 and the 5, mine being the 3, holy fucking shit, that was sick as hell. Anyway, thank you, Burn, for that. I appreciate that. Thank you for letting me get that win. Let me take that win, baby. So, the bars at the top are my EX for that character I'm playing. So, I only have, like, right now, 2 bars. And then if you're going to activate meta, it typically takes about, like, I think 1 bar, maybe 2. You have to wait for that red bar to fill up, you have to wait for your bar to turn red in order for you to get meta. And you can basically know-you other enemies, or your opponent. You can know-you them, and activate meta at the same time that they do. That way, yeah. Anyway, I'll explain the fragment thing in a second, because there's more to that. But first, let me try something here. I am not doing very good, considering the fact that I have no health. I keep doing DP on accident. I'm not going to say it's controller Johns, but in all fairness, it technically kind of is. I knew you would do that. Just mash it. You're better off just doing that. If you're fine with technically quote-unquote wasting your EX, go ahead. Can I not? Oh my god, I wasted it. Whatever. It don't matter. It's fine. So basically, again, you build up EX with one character. Now, that EX does not build up from the one character. I can't build up EX with Burn for her. Okay, it does take up 1. I thought so. I can't build up EX with Burn and use it with Burn. However, that EX I build up does go into Battler, so whenever I switch to him, I gain his. And there's also like a triple tag system type thing where, like, essentially what you can do is you can default tag, or raw tag as they call it in a lot of fighting games. Much like, you know, Dragon Ball Fighters or whatever. You can raw tag, which basically is just a standing, in my case, I'm playing the Xbox controller, a standing A press. If you're getting hit, you can, you serious? Of course I get hit with fucking fragments. Of course I would get hit with them. Well, there you go. There's my 2 matches. I won both. That was... Oh, dude, that was sick. That combo was fucking sick. I'm sorry. It wasn't the best thing ever made, but holy shit. Anyway, yeah, this is going to be a fun series. A few characters might piss me off and might be kind of hard, but we'll see. I'll explain the fragment thing in just a sec, but... Yeah, so there's raw tag, there's like burst tag, where if you're getting hit, you just tag out. And there's like a dash tag, or not like, basically you waste your tag to do a dash. If you're in a mid combo, you can dash and basically cancel your combo into a dash, and that wastes your tag. There's also like this other tag that I'm not really the best at performing, or really even exactly know fully what it's supposed to do, but it does do the red truth sound effect, which is pretty cool, where essentially if you do like half circle forward X, or A, or basically tag button, you'll tag out to your partner, but you do like a dashing thing. It's really weird. I'm not fully the most knowledgeable about this game, but for the most part, I have a pretty good idea what I'm doing, considering the fact that I pulled that off. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all for some more. Most likely, I'll probably just call it Beating the Illusion, because I think it kind of works in that regard toward the series as a whole. But anyway, thank you for watching, and as always, take care, everybody.